Good morning, everyone. A very good morning to all of you, bachcho. We are live. We are back on ExamDost. We are back with the ESE Officer Practice Series for Engineering Services PYQ. This is the last session for basic electronics and analog electronics. Quickly, everybody join. So let me get started, beta. Let us get started with the first question. A sinusoidal wave can be converted to square wave with the help of... How can you convert a sinusoid to a square wave? Basically, regenerative voltage comparator circuit. Regenerative means positive feedback, voltage comparator. So basically it means to say Schmidt trigger. With the help of Schmidt trigger, you can convert sinusoid into a square wave. Consider the following bistable multi-vibrator circuit. Which of the following statement is correct above in the above circuit C1 C2? C1 C2 का इस circuit में क्या purpose है? To basically increase the speed. Remember this. ESE 2004 C1 C2 are used to increase the speed of this circuit. So this is a multi-vibrator constructed using BJT instead of op-amp. ESE 2004 monostable multi-vibrator. It provides a delay. Bistable multi-vibrator. Bistable multi-vibrator will provide a counter. Whenever input comes, the output toggles. Clamping circuit, DC level. Schmidt trigger. Schmidt trigger basically uses a comparator. So answer is B. Answer is B. ESE 2005. A Hartley oscillator uses a tapped inductor for feedback. Correct. Oscillator can be operated in class A condition for better wave shape. Yes. Because class A has minimum distortion. Why? Because it operates at center of load line. Frequency stabilization is obtained with the help of automatic biasing. No. Answer is 1 and 2. Biasing से frequency stability नहीं आती but Q point stability आती है. So Q point stability depends on biasing, not the frequency stability. Ammeter coupled oscillator is capable of high frequency oscillation. Yes. It consists of saturating NP and BJT. No. It is in active region. Okay. So see. Because high frequency means fast switching. For fast switching, you need to operate in active region instead of saturation. ESE 2005, FET operated crystal oscillator operates on the concept of feedback. देखो oscillator always requires feedback. The feedback is provided by drain to gate capacitance. Absolutely correct. तो ड्रेन और गेट टर्मिनल के बीच की जो एक इंटरनल कैपेसिटेंस होती है दैट प्रोवाइड्स द फीडबैक एंड दिस इज बेसिकली एक्टिवेटेड एट हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी. तो हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी पे कैपेसिटेंस बेसिकली इन और आउट के बीच में कनेक्टेड है. इट इज कनेक्टेड बिटवीन इनपुट एंड आउटपुट. So without feedback, ESE 2007 gain is 1000. Negative feedback 0.009. So gain with feedback. Basically 100. See. Consider the following statement in regards to the Wien bridge oscillator. In regards to the Wien bridge oscillator, for R equal to 1, C equal to 1 by 2 pi. First of all, ये देखिए बेटा, frequency of oscillation is this 1 by 2 pi. तो सीरीज और पैरेलल के R और C बराबर हैं, तो 1 by 2 pi RC. Because R and C value in series and parallel is same. So it is 1 by 2 pi RC. So that is 1000. So this is correct. For R equal to 3, C equal to 1 by 18 pi, again, you will get the result 3 kilohertz. So both are correct. ESE 2008, both are correct. Okay. ये बात क्लियर हो गई भाई? Is this clear to all of you? Both are correct. Wien bridge oscillator is suitable for generating 1 kilohertz. Colpit oscillator is suitable for generating 1 megahertz. Yes. So this is used at high frequency because it is LC oscillator. This is used at low frequency RC oscillator. So oscillators constructed using R and C are used at low frequency. Oscillator operating with L and C are used at high frequency. अब सायक भाई, इस सेशन के बीच में मैं तुम्हें ये पूरी कहानी तो बता नहीं पाऊंगा कि AIR1 कैसे अचीव किया. किसी और सेशन में इस मुद्दे पे बात करेंगे. ESE 2011, the highest frequency stability is crystal oscillator. Crystal oscillator has the maximum frequency stability. ESE 2011, one shot multi-vibrator with a pulse input gives the output of a square pulse. Monostable multi-vibrator से एक square pulse आती है. ESE 2012, in tuned amplifier, a high gain is achieved at a narrow band of frequency. Absolutely correct. So what happens in the tuned amplifier, beta? In tuned amplifier, basically, what you do is, instead of RC, you will use a parallel LC circuit here. And this has a narrow bandwidth or high quality factor. ठीक है? So in that range, the gain is high. A feedback, ESE 2012, a feedback oscillator amplifier can oscillate, yes, under positive feedback if it satisfies Bark-Hussein criteria. If a amplifier along with feedback satisfies Bark-Hussein criteria, it can oscillate. Loop gain should be 1, not infinity. Loop gain 1 आना चाहिए, so answer is C. ESE 2012 RC phase shift oscillator satisfies Bark-Hussein criteria? Yes. Every oscillator has to satisfy. Must use 3 equal resistor, 3 equal capacitor. No. Even 2 section RC phase shift oscillator can be constructed. 3 ही होने चाहिए ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. It's not necessary that we must have 3 sections. Even 2 sections can make the oscillations happen. So answer is C. ESE 2014, pulse width out of a one-shot multi-vibrator increases when capacitance increases, because pulse width is directly proportional to time constant. So if you increase capacitance, pulse width increases. ESE 2015, in order to generate a square wave using a sinusoidal input signal, you can use Schmitt trigger. You can use monostable multi-vibrator. See, because monostable multi-vibrator also gives you a square pulse. Sine wave to square wave, bistable multi-vibrator, that is Schmitt trigger, या फिर आप इसको Schmitt trigger ही कह दो. Okay, sine wave to square wave, best circuit is Schmitt trigger. ESE 2017, in a RC phase shift oscillator using FET and 3-section RC phase shift network, the condition for sustained oscillation is, it is C. ये कंडीशन आपकी आती है इन केस ऑफ FET 3-section RC phase shift oscillator. ESE 2017, a tuned collector oscillator has a inductor और बैंडविड्थ दे रखी है रेंज ऑफ द कैपेसिटर. ट्यूनेबल I square you can take as 10, so approximately 1000 picofarad, approximately at 1500 kilohertz. Okay, so it will be approximately 1000 by 9. So I think it should be A. Answer should be A. ESE 2019, for RC phase shift oscillator using FET, the gain of the amplifier must be practically somewhat greater than 29. Okay, GMRD must be greater than 29 for A beta slightly greater than unity. ए बीटा को ना एक्चुअली 1 से हल्का ज्यादा रखा जाता है टू कंपेंसेट द एटेन्यूएशन और द लॉसेस, एंड बीटा इज 1/29. ESE 2020, in a crystal oscillator, especially when piezoelectric crystal like quartz is applied, LCR are analogous to mass, spring constant and damping. L represents mass, C represents spring, and R represents damping. ESE 2020, in a phase shift oscillator using FET, if the phase shift is 180 degree, the total phase shift from gate around the circuit back to the gate will be 0 degree. ठीक है, in complete loop A beta is 1 angle 0 degree. So total phase shift is 0 degree. ESE 2022, the frequency of a sinusoidal oscillator is determined by the condition loop gain phase shift is 0. Okay. In every practical oscillator, loop gain is slightly larger than unity and amplitude is limited by the onset of nonlinearity. A beta equal to 1 is called Bark-Hussein criteria. Oscillation will be sustained if the oscillator frequency, magnitude of transfer gain and feedback factor are less than unity. T. A beta और ये सही बात है बेटा, एंगल ए बीटा 0, यहां से ओमेगा आता है, मॉड ए बीटा 1, तो यहां से ए का वैल्यू निकलता है। तो मैग्नीट्यूड से ए निकाला जाता है और एंगल से फ्रीक्वेंसी। Next, which of the following ESE 2002 is correct in the feedback having three resistance and capacitance element for phase shift oscillator? One by 2 pi RC root 6. So 1 by 2 pi root 6, how much? 0.065 by RC. A. In the given circuit ESE 2011, the magnitude of V0 is given. We need to find R1, R2, R3 and R4. So beta, this is a inverting summer. So mod V0, basically it is removing the minus sign. Okay. So R4 by R1 is 3. R4 by R2 is 2. R4 by R3 is 7. So if you take 12, then R1 will be 4, R2 will be 6, 12 by 7. See, इसमें सब satisfy हो जाएगा. C. Everything will be satisfied. ESE 2012, virtual ground property of op-amp indicates that inverting and non-inverting terminal have the same potential. That is why it is also called as virtual short. ESE 2012, a comparator circuit is used to mark the instant when arbitrary waveform attains a reference level. So whenever input goes above or below the reference level, the output changes. So you can know when the input is below reference or input is above reference. You can know the time. Beta, these PDF are available on the app under previous year question Vaibhav. ESE 2013. A signal may have frequency component that lie from 0.001 to 10 Hz. What is the type of coupling that can be designed? Direct coupling, because low frequency amplification. For other application, basically at low frequency you have less gain. बाकियों में low frequency पे less gain मिलता है, but in direct coupling you get constant gain at low frequency. So these are the low frequency, hence you should use a direct coupled amplifier. Op-amp is connected in a voltage follower configuration. So basically V0 is V in 3 sin 1000 pi t slew rate. So dV0 by dt 3000 pi cos 1000 pi t 3000 pi B. Op-amp has a common mode gain and a differential gain. What is common mode rejection ratio? 10 to the power 7. Okay. Which of the following characteristics are possessed by a transformer coupled push-pull amplifier? इनमें से कौन सी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक होती हैं बेटा? ESE 2007, even harmonic distortion, that is harmonics are of even order, crossover distortion, rating is lower than class A amplifier. Class A has maximum power dissipation. Efficiency more than class C? No, lower than class C. Class C has higher efficiency. So answer should be C. Which of the following are the main advantages of class B push-pull amplifier? ESE 2007. Even harmonic tend to cancel out. क्यों cancel हो जाते हैं? Because both the transistor will generate equal and opposite harmonic. यहां दो ट्रांजिस्टर equal and opposite harmonic आपके generate करेंगे तो harmonic will get cancelled. More power output per transistor, conversion efficiency as high as 78%, absence of crossover distortion. नहीं, crossover distortion तो आता है. So answer should be A. Answer should be A. ESE 2007, the shunt type regulator is suitable for which of the following? High current, low voltage. Because device is connected in parallel. So at high voltage, it can get damaged. So you use it at low voltage. ESE 2008, percentage regulation. What is the percentage regulation? No load minus full load by full load. ये मशीन में भी करते हो वैसे, but no load minus full load by full load. ESE 2008, a sinusoidal signal of 100 Hz is applied to amplifier. This is my output current. Approximate increase in the power due to distortion. So 100 Hz. So basically this is fundamental. Now power is basically I RMS square into R. So what is fundamental RMS? And what about total RMS? (405/2). So percentage increase (1.25). Okay, it will be 1.25. Consider the following statement which are correct for a push-pull amplifier. Push-pull amplifier. Okay. So only even harmonics are present? No. Provides more output per device? Yes. Core saturation is avoided? Yes. Power supply humming is absent. तो ये सब points ना आपको याद करने पड़ेंगे for different power amplifier. This is ESE 2009. Main source of distortion in a push-pull amplifier, even harmonics. Even harmonics are a source of distortion in the push-pull amplifier. For a low-pass RC circuit, the input waveform is as shown in the figure. यार यहाँ पे फिगर ही मिसिंग है. Low pass circuit means आई थिंक पूरा चार्ज तो नहीं होगा, ये आना चाहिए, है ना. इट कैनॉट कंप्लीटली चार्ज टू द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू. एक्चुअली दिस शुड बी द इनपुट. कैपेसिटर कैनॉट चार्ज टिल द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू, क्योंकि एक फाइनाइट टाइम में कैपेसिटर कैन नॉट रीच स्टेडी स्टेट. इन ऑर्डर टू रीच द सप्लाई वोल्टेज और द स्टेडी स्टेट इट रिक्वायर्स इनफाइनाइट टाइम. कैपेसिटर को स्टेडी स्टेट पहुंचने के लिए इंफिनिटी टाइम लगता है. द एफिशिएंसी ऑफ अ क्लास बी एम्पलीफायर इज 72% when the supply voltage is 24. The peak to peak output voltage is. Just a minute. Efficiency of a class B amplifier is 72%. Supply voltage 24 मेरे हिसाब से RMS ही दी होनी चाहिए. Just a minute. Let me check. कि वोल्टेज अगर RMS है तो एफिशिएंसी से आउटपुट RMS आ जाएगा. तो यहाँ एफिशिएंसी का ना डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला लगाना पड़ेगा. ओके, तो VP is basically peak V naught. Let us take VM as this. और अगर इसको सिर्फ 24 लिया जाए, $22 आया. ओके, तो आई थिंक बी आना चाहिए इसका. जो गिवन ऑप्शंस हैं उसके हिसाब से वैसे तो पीक टू पीक 44 आ जाता, बट ये 22 देगा. चलिए. एम्पलीट्यूड डिस्टॉर्शन अराइजेस ड्यू टू डिफरेंट फ्रीक्वेंसी कंपोनेंट. यहां पे बेटा पूछा है कौन सी स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट है ESE 2011. So it is saying amplitude distortion means that different frequency components are amplified differently. Basically, gain is a function of omega. This causes amplitude distortion. White noise gives same noise per unit bandwidth across entire frequency spectrum. So white noise has this power spectral density. Yes. So constant है at each frequency. If amplifier has two poles such that P2 is 4 P1, dominant pole is P2 P1. P1 is dominant. It is closer to origin. The self-biasing emitter resistance of an amplifier is bypassed by large capacitance to reduce degeneration at high frequency. This is correct. जो RE होता है ना, therefore bypass capacitor is used. बाईपास कैपेसिटर का काम होता है आरई को शॉर्ट कर देना. इट शुड शॉर्ट सर्किट आरई सो दैट गेन डज नॉट रिड्यूस. तो बेटा आइडियली द आंसर शुड बी 124. बाकी यहाँ पे 3 भी हो सकता है अगर ये P1 होता, ठीक है, 1 to 4 आएगा. Again, ESE 2011, for a class A operation, the operating point cannot be fixed near VC 0. Class A is in active region. This is saturation. Okay. Absolutely correct. अगर आप VCE 0 के पास रखोगे, if you keep it near to VCE 0 during the positive half cycle, transistor will go into the saturation and the shape will be distorted. The main advantage of class A is that it does not distort the shape. ये shape खराब नहीं करता. ESE 2012, in a typical IC monostable multivibrator, at the falling edge of the trigger input, the output switches high for a period of time determined by RC. R और C की वैल्यू से डिसाइड होता है कितनी देर के लिए आउटपुट हाई रहेगा. ESE 2012, push-pull amplifier gives more output per active device. Yes. Even harmonics are absent in the output of a push-pull amplifier. Correct. अच्छा, इसके आधार पे ना एक करेक्ट करना पड़ेगा अपने को आंसर, ये वाला. Main source of distortion is third harmonic because even harmonics are absent. कैंसिल आउट हो जाते हैं ना बेटा पुश पुल में. चलिए, ESE 2012, much of the distortion introduced in the large signal amplifier, basically power amplifier, is eliminated by push-pull circuit. Correct. It eliminates even harmonics. Signal applied at the two transistor are 180 degree out of phase. Yes. That is why even harmonics are eliminated. पुश पुल का मतलब ही ये होता है बेटा कि दोनों ट्रांजिस्टर पे अपोजिट सिग्नल लगेगा. तो वन विल ट्राई टू पुश इट and one will try to pull it up. One will try to push it down, make the output low. Other will try to pull it up, make the output high. So both are fed by opposite signals. ESE 2013, a stable multivibrator can be used for generating square wave, bistable for storing binary information. ठीक है, bistable basically latch की तरह काम करता है. ESE 2013, in a push-pull operation, one transistor will conduct for negative half cycle, other for positive half cycle. Correct. Class B power amplifier is fixed in cutoff, which gives non-distorted output. It gives distorted output. See. ESE 2014. Consider the following statement regarding differential amplifier using FET pair. The differential output offset voltage is because of mismatch between the parameters. Parameter mismatch होने से, if the resistances are marked as equal but they are different. Resistance बोल तो दिया है equal है लेकिन अलग हैं. Variation in the operating voltage, no. 1 and 2. D. The answer should be 1 and 2. वोल्टेज से आपका आउटपुट वोल्टेज नहीं आएगा. Active load is primarily used in the collector of a differential amplifier of an op-amp. Active load का मतलब होता है बेटा where the load is not a resistance, rather than the resistance, the load is actually a transistor. The load is actually a transistor. तो उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? We call it as the active load. Okay. So why do you use the active load? To increase the gain. To increase the gain. Okay. Are you getting my point? Gain बढ़ाने के लिए. Okay. बाकी यार इसमें ये भी हो सकता है. Variation in operating voltage basically changes dew point to vary आउटपुट ऑफसेट, ठीक है, यही मैं एक बार रिकन्फर्म कर रहा था. तो बेसिकली पावर सप्लाई कैन चेंज द बायस करंट एंड हेंस चेंज द V output offset. Pulse width of a one shot multi-vibrator increases. This is repeated when capacitance increases. Pulse width is proportional to RC. ESE 2020. Which of the following statement is not correct for the active filter used in the field of communication and signal processing? एक्टिव फिल्टर के बारे में क्या सही नहीं है? It exhibits insertion loss. Okay, it exhibits insertion loss. तो एक्टिव फिल्टर क्या होते हैं बेटा? Where you use R and C component along with the active device. Okay. तो बेसिकली इंसर्शन लॉस का मतलब क्या है? Loss when an element is inserted into transmission line or circuit. ठीक है, this happens during communication. Wien bridge oscillator R frequency दे रखी है, आपसे C पूछा है. .159, तो 1.59 nanofarad. Okay. Slew rate is given. ESE 2013 largest sine wave output at 1 megahertz. Suppose this is output. Five by 2 pi. 5 by 2 pi. ESE 2014 gain and distortion are this when used with a 10% negative feedback. The percentage distortion will be 1 plus A beta, so 5 by 16. ESE 2014, a two-stage amplifier with negative feedback. A two-stage amplifier with negative feedback can be unstable for large beta, become unstable at high and low frequency. It is stable. Negative feedback वाला amplifier stable ही आएगा. An ideal op-amp should have infinite bandwidth, infinite input resistance, zero output resistance. ESE 2015 B. इनका आपस में कोई लेना देना नहीं है. All are separate requirements for a ideal op-amp. ESE 2016. Three identical amplifier having a voltage gain 50 are cascaded. So what is the open loop gain overall? 60 log 50 102 dB. ESE 2016. This is basically voltage follower. It has high input impedance tending to infinity, low output impedance tending to 0. क्योंकि V0 एक कांस्टेंट वोल्टेज सोर्स बन गया ना, So that means output impedance is 0. Slew rate is given, peak output voltage is given. अभी मैंने आपको बताया dV0 by dt max is omega Vm. Vm is 12. थर्टी सिक्स मीन्स 30 पे जाएगा कहीं ना कहीं, तो बी. आंसर विल बी बी. Voltage follower is used as, what do you use voltage follower? ESE 2016 isolation basically isolates input and output. Buffer amplifier means gain is 1. So it can be used as both. ESE 2017. How fast can the output of op-amp change by 10 volt if the slew rate is this? Ten microsecond. Next, an ideal op-amp is connected as shown in the figure. What is output voltage V2? ये ना माइनस प्लस एक्सचेंज होंगे. This is a non-inverting amplifier. So this will be 3V1. ESE 2019 slew rate input varies. Maximum closed loop voltage gain will be dV0 by dt, dV in by dt, V0 is AV in, so A, so A is 40. ESE 2020, in order to balance the offset voltage, a small DC voltage is applied to input terminal where the connection is. आप ऑफसेट वोल्टेज को बैलेंस करने के लिए एक इनपुट वोल्टेज लगाते हो विच इज कनेक्टेड इन सीरीज विद नॉन इन्वर्टिंग इनपुट, है ना. तो जो इनपुट ऑफसेट वोल्टेज लगाई जाती है दैट इज कनेक्टेड एट द नॉन इन्वर्टिंग इनपुट. रिमेंबर दिस, input offset voltage is always connected at the non-inverting input. Multi-vibrator ESE 2020 that remains in stable state until a triggering signal causes transition to quasi-stable and then again returns to the stable. So one stable state and one quasi-stable state. Therefore, monostable multivibrator. ESE 21 output voltage of integrator. Twelve by 3 minus 4. Very simple. ESE 21, which statement is correct for active filter? High frequency is limited by the gain bandwidth product, correct, and slew rate. Op-amp do not provide any gain, wrong. Low input impedance, no. High input impedance. High frequency active filters are not more expensive than low frequency. High frequency वाले ज़्यादा expensive होंगे. ESE 22, which of the following consists of op-amp in inverting mode network of RC component? Okay, op-amp serves the purpose of amplifying. So that is RC phase shift oscillator. यहाँ पे op-amp amplifier का काम करता है, 180 डिग्री का shift देता है, and you have a feedback network consisting of R and C. ESE 24, key properties of op-amp that plays an important role in designing active filter: high input impedance, low output impedance, and you can amplify the signal to any desired level. ESE 2024, which statements are correct? Frequent change in temperature. The frequency determining component changes. Frequency can be changed by biasing and loading. Effective resistance is unchanged. No, it will change. Effective resistance will change. Okay. Is that clear? So answer will be A. ESE 24, L and C is given. Frequency of oscillator is given. What is L1? Okay. T is 4 into 10 to the power minus 9. Hmm. One by 11. So 0.04 millihenry. Okay. So that's it, bacho. So your basic electronics is now completed. So now we will meet at 11:30 for control systems. Okay. So I'll see you all at 11:30. Thank you.